Maybe we could start a helicopter tour. Ruin the atmosphere, ruin the dynamic. Just get in a helicopter to the summit, hop out, go, oh, yeah, it's good, isn't it? And then get back in the helicopter. Job done.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad. We're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Dawson. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
Well, what's going on? Deliveroo's taken over DoorDash, Chris. I've just been reading the news. Apparently there's a big hostile or non-hostile takeover happening in the boardrooms of, well, I imagine the very well food-stocked boardrooms. Can you imagine the food at a Deliveroo sort of takeover meeting? Can you imagine well, no, it'd be amazing. There'd be like all kinds of... They'd want to impress any suitors with some of the best food that Deliveroo or Just Eat or DoorDash, no, Panda Express, as discussed last week. We do not eat Panda Express. And Americans like watching or listening to the Abroad in Japan podcast will know that Panda Express has a terrible reputation. They will know that Panda Express is awful. But I just wanted to give it one last chance. But as God is my witness... That is the last time I'm ever eating Panda Express, and I'm a man who loves Chinese food, or whatever weird approximation that we have in this country.
He's a simple man. I'm a
simple man. But
do you not have Uber over there? What we have Uber over here, and Wolt, they're the dominant two, I think.
I think the dominant one here is Deliveroo. A little bit of Just Eat there. Uber Eats, I think they're sort of allied with KFC. They do the KFC deliveries, and there's not a single order from the old KFC Uber unholy union that it's always wrong. Every time I order something, they've forgotten me sauces, they've forgotten me drink, they've forgotten me coleslaw. We're a big coleslaw KFC family in this house, and it's very upsetting. It's real first world problems, but I'm paying first world money.
KFC Japan, I'd say McDonald's Japan is better than McDonald's UK, but KFC is not. They don't have popcorn chicken, they don't have gravy. That's not great, even though they have the wonderful Christmas thing, the Christmas
gravy
bucket. I know it's fucked. I don't know, it's fucked.
What's the wet? What's the wet with the food? What's wet? Give me some wet. What is it? Miso? What's going on?
It's just nothing. It's just very dry, and at least it gives us something to do at Christmas each year, at the very least. But yeah, other than that, nobody really goes there.
I brought home... I became obsessed because where we were at WrestleMania a couple of weeks ago, we were right next to a Chick-fil-A. And I've not eaten a lot of food at Chick-fil-A. I don't really care for the food. It's not no better than any other fast food joint. But the Chick-fil-A original sauce was delicious. And when I was in Walmart later on, I bought a pint of this Chick-fil-A sauce. And in about a week, I've managed to finish... half of it. It's been going on everything. Everything I eat. I had it on Doritos last night. I just goddamn love that Chick-fil-A sauce. And for those of you who know that one might say I skew a little bit liberal with my politics, yes, I am.
No, you?
I am aware that they're slightly problematic in my sphere. And that's something I found out when I've been telling everyone about how much I love Chick-fil-A sauce.
Shut up and eat your Chick-fil-A. That's all I say.
Shut up and eat your Chick-fil-A.
When we were on the cycle for 2 weeks, Connor kept getting notifications from Uber, and it was like, a new restaurant has opened in Tokyo, let's try it. And he got like notifications every day pestering him to order food. So maybe that's why Uber is so successful here.
And did he? And
no,
did
he
order
not.
you some food? Oh.
No,
what was the best food that you ate across the cycle? Because obviously you had to do a lot of carb loading and make sure you've got enough energy to cycle for that amount of time.
I think we went to a really good pizza and pasta place in Hokkaido that really stood out. Actually, and also a fried chicken place near Morioka in Iwate. We found like the House of Chicken or something it was called. And the batter was like bonkers good. It was so light and crispy, but not overbearing, not oily. The chicken was soft and juicy and delicate. There was some really good spots. We also went to a lot of convenience stores, as you can imagine. Every breakfast was basically like a 7-Eleven egg sandwich. I had like a Yakult with like 10 billion bacteria in every day. Connor drank the section you get at the start of the front of a convenience store with like bottles of like vitamin C drinks and like things that look medicinal but they're not. Connor would have like one of those every day, and it would be like the one packed with like 33 lemons worth of vitamin C, and he'd drink that, try and prop up his health and whatnot. It's too much, isn't it? But neither of us, I will say, it's impressive, neither of us got sick on the whole journey. For 2 weeks, we were pretty good health-wise, even though we were exerting ourselves mentally and physically. Somehow we were able to stay on top, and maybe it was the vitamin C and the Yakult drinks that saw us through.
Well, it settles the stomach, and it's got a lot of vitamin C in there, and one would imagine a shitload of sugar. So yes. I think that's it's a perfect drink for a cycling man on a cyclothon.
Absolutely, and you have to eat a fair bit of food to keep your body going. I noticed a dramatic difference. If the night before I had like a hearty meal, lots of carbs and rice and protein, fish, meat, whatever. If I ate a lot, then the next morning I felt pretty good. If I didn't, I felt like really slow and sluggish and brain fog. Mind fog.
What do you call it? Mind fog? Brain fog? Yeah, I feel great. Yeah. Sounds like you need to continue
mind fog,
eating your energy jelly and stuff.
Yeah, I did have a lot of jelly, I'll admit. So it matters a big time. When you're exerting yourself that much, you have to eat a lot the night before so your body can really recover overnight.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. I didn't work out at all before the cyclothon. I did like 20 minutes of cycling on the exercise bike, and that was my practice before 2 weeks on a bloody bike going over mountain ranges and fields and whatnot.
You're probably fitter than you give yourself credit for, I would say.
I think, maybe I'm fitter beneath the surface than I appear.
Beneath the surface, yes.
Well, my stomach is protruding more than I'd like, and it's always in photos. It's like, this bowling ball reminds me of Chris. There'll be like a Reddit post. They'll be like, I saw a picture of a cow and it looked like Chris. And so I need to get the old stomach reined in.
People feel very, very comfortable passing comment on this guy. Like, you realise people read this? Like you seem to like this product, but you seem to be like quite rude about it sometimes. Yeah, it's weird.
It's fine. I'm gonna now. Well, now I'm 35. I always said when I hit 35 I would change my ways. Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll find out. But I'm going to try and get my health together and actually start taking fitness and stuff a lot more seriously. Throughout May, June, July, I'm gonna be a lot more careful. I'm going to try and cut out sugar massively. Didn't help that we just had a team meeting and the team bought a huge pepperoni pizza the size of Spain and a bottle of very sugary cow piss, which I did drink half of. But apart from that, we're off to a great start. Don't you worry. I will get fit. LA Chip Star Chris and Pringles Pete. It's a story from Lacey, and Lacey continues. Last year, my boyfriend and I visited Japan for 2 weeks and had the most wonderful time. We went the usual route of Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka. But little did we know that the trip back to Tokyo would turn into an absolute nightmare. We arrived at the train station expecting a pleasant 2.5-hour journey back to Tokyo. But when we tried to use our tickets, the machine spat it back out. We asked the staff nearby what was wrong. We were told that all trains to Tokyo were cancelled due to a storm. Oh shit, this might have been the same time my train got cancelled. If it's last year, right? Yeah. This is last year in September. Natsuki, Paul, and myself nearly got stranded due to this. Probably the same storm, to be honest. All the trains from Kyoto weren't running. And we were directed to a line of over 100 people snaking through the station to rebook tickets. When we finally got our tickets, we were told about the various transfers we'd need to take, and it was clear that our 2.5-hour journey had ballooned into a 9-hour odyssey across the Japanese mountains. The journey from Osaka to Shiojiri was pleasant, but then the nightmare began. We could only book non-reserved seats. So we hastily boarded the train to find that every seat in every car was taken. So we stood in the area between the two cars with all of our luggage for the entire 3-hour journey. As more people got on the train with each stop, the aisle became so congested that a deafening chorus of Modoru echoed as the train doors shut. With our legs broken, our luggage in tow, we did eventually make it to our hotel in Odaiba as night fell upon the city. Since Japan is known for its fantastic public transport, I wondered if you've ever encountered a travel shake-up this bad. If so, how did you deal with it? All the best, guys. Lacey. I mean, in my case, that time we were lucky. We sort of waited it out a little bit, and I think we we missed most of the storm. By the time we got our train, I think the trains were back up and running. But you sort of appreciate, when the bullet trains get fucked up, then you appreciate just how big Japan is and how difficult it is to travel around it if you're not using a bullet train, right?
A long old country.
It is. And, you can get to you get to like Aomori in like 3 hours by bullet train. If you drive it, it's like a 2-day journey, probably. You could do it in 1 day, but you'd probably be very miserable along the way. It's because it's just so mountainous, it is a bitch to get around without bullet trains or planes. So, but I've never had a real issue. I've been lucky to escape most of the time. There was one time, I think it was a major earthquake. They shut down the Shinkansen and whatnot. And that's one good thing about moving to Tokyo. If there is an issue between like Sendai and Tokyo, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But for the most part, Japan is very good at backup situations because of natural disasters and storms and earthquakes and tsunamis and volcanoes. There's a lot of backups in play to prevent the worst from happening, right? So one of the better countries. Not like the UK, where all the trains are broken every single day. And when you ask why, they go, "It's London, isn't it, mate?" And that's it. That's a suitable excuse, apparently. Yeah.
I've got quite an extensive UK tour for our Football Ramble Time Tunnel show.
No.
FootballRambleLive.com if you want to come see us. And we're in Glasgow, Manchester, Newcastle, Birmingham, and then back to London for another show. And
on the Football Ramble private jet, no doubt.
On the Football Ramble,
the Pete Dawson Gulfstream.
I am just kind of like, oh God,
building generational wealth for Pete Dawson.
I probably should drive, to be honest, but I've got quite a lot of sort of things to carry. I've got a very fragile, let's just say, a piece of papier-mâché and also a cup that I've printed on my 3D printer in several different parts. And it's very fragile, both things, and I don't know how I'm going to get it up and down the country. I only took it into town. I took the papier-mâché thing into town for one gig at the London Palladium in Soho, but I think getting it up to Glasgow, going down to Newcastle, it might be a bit of an issue.
Can't you just use your Toyota Century? That would be, rocking up in that as a big statement, isn't it?
It's a big,
for a tour.
It is a big statement.
A big bold Pete Dawson statement.
Yeah, maybe that's the answer, but
definitely the answer.
Definitely the answer.
Imagine all the fans when you rock up on your big, silly, loud Toyota Century,
wearing my papier-mâché.
Or you could hire a driver to drive it for you for like a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you can sit in the back and put your feet up like a boss.
I remember interviewing just get a little driver to drive me around.
A little driver, yes.
A little driver.
A little driver, what is that?
That lad from Indiana Jones, where he'd got blocks on his feet.
Short round.
Reach the pedals. That guy, short round. Yeah, short round. Get him to drive. I remember sort of going up and down the country doing like interviews with like comedians and stuff once back in the day, and I interviewed I can't remember, wasn't it Lee something or other. He was like this kind of chav act, sort of joke chav act, and his thing was like he'd have a baseball cap. That was his kind of look. And because
like
the baseball cap was the baseball cap was so iconic. He had a special protective sort of baseball cap sort of case, like flight case, but for a baseball cap, just a baseball cap. And so maybe I need like a big sort of protective case for me papier-mâché. I've made it too big. I got so excited I made it too big, Chris. Terrible.
I daren't even think or ask what this papier-mâché object is.
I'll show you off.
I don't want to get the video demonetised with your filthy papier-mâché antics. But it's time for News of the Week, and we've got a story this week that sort of beggars belief. I've seen the headlines. I don't know the story. I've heard vaguely about it. What's going on in Japan this week, Mr. Dawson, with Mount Fuji, a mountain that you aren't supposed to climb?
No.
What is going on here? This is ridiculous.
Chris, someone's been a bit silly. They've got caught. They've been caught short, Chris. on the old Mount Fuji. You're not gonna believe this, for a very stupid reason. Basically, a 27-year-old university student who climbed Mount Fuji outside of its official climbing season, which is a big no, especially around about this time of year. Very slippy, very cold. He was rescued twice in 4 days. He was rescued I won't tell you why. I'll get into the story and you'll find out why. The Chinese student, that's going to help the whole anti-foreigner bias in Japan. He lives in Japan. He was first rescued by helicopter on Tuesday while on the Fuji Trail, which sits around 9,800 feet above sea level. He was unable to descend the trail after he lost his crampons, a spike device that is attached to the bottom of his climbing shoes for better traction. But days later, he returned to the mountain to retrieve the belongings that he left behind, including his mobile phone. I got emotional thinking about losing your mobile phone. He was rescued again on Saturday after suffering from altitude sickness, but is now out of danger. Due to harsh conditions, people are discouraged from climbing Mount Fuji outside of the official climbing season that starts in early July and ends in early September. All trails leading to Mount Fuji summit are closed at this time, according to the Environment Ministry. He basically just went up, got caught out, got rescued via helicopter, and then went back up 4 days later to collect his mobile phone. Absolutely astonishing behaviour. Yes, that is the man, the sort of man that, the word plonker was invented for. Fantastic. No notes.
It's a bit like, it's just infuriating, you know. What was he thinking? Like, I mean...
And he was an influencer. He was a YouTuber. Oh, no.
I sort of understand if it was something, if he'd forgotten his energy jelly, you know.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can get into the mindset.
Yeah.
I forgot my chicken. I forgot my
cigarettes.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Oh no, I've got to go back up in it. These poor people that were dispatched to dick about up Mount Fuji, you know. It's a treacherous mountain even in this time of year. It's very cold and windy up there. And you're not supposed to go anywhere near it really until July. So I do know some people that climb it. And I think they do it legally, but they're very prepared, you know, as you need to be climbing a 4-kilometer mountain in winter. But there's been some crazy stories over the years, like the dude that went up there, did a live stream, and then fell down, unfortunately. And there's always people doing rather silly things on Mount Fuji. They're trying to make it more difficult to climb, aren't they, of recent, where you have to actually pay
spikes.
Money.
Spikes. Like broken light tubes.
To stop they used to stop pigeons from sitting on windows in England, yeah.
Do you remember like back in like the 90s and the 80s, you used to have like on the top of people's... It's certainly around where I was.
I wasn't around in the 80s, so how would I remember it?
Shut up.
I'm not 44 like you, mate.
Oh, no. They would put like on the top of high walls behind the back of houses, you'd put you'd just basically scoop a load of cement on the top and then just broken glass. Broken bottles in shards to stop people climbing over and to stop the birds sort of landing. That proper takes me back. Yeah, it's proper rough stuff.
Thatcher's Britain. Jesus Christ, it's pretty ropey. That's pretty ropey. Did this guy get punished? Did anything happen?
I don't think so. I'm looking at the news story. No, I don't think he just sort of just basically the court of public opinion had an issue with him. I don't think he's gotten to prison or anything, but I imagine he got a stern telling off. Not like you'd think you'd even get like a fine for having to be rescued via helicopter, wouldn't you?
Christ,
those things are expensive.
What a plonker! Honestly, you should get charged for that, for wasting time and endangering the rescuers. You know, you have to go up there and save him, you know. So, but Mount Fuji's cracking down on sort of tourist numbers. Of recent, it has been very crowded. You know, last year 220,000 people went up it, and now I think this year they're charging about $13 or £10 to limit the number of people going up it. Essentially,
yes,
and to limit the number of people that go up per day on certain trails. For example, one of the most popular trails, the Yoshida Trail. They're going to cap it at 4,000 people a day starting this year. So presumably, is this going to be somebody there with a clicker that goes to 4,000 and then it gets to like that one last person who comes in with a couple and it's like only one of you can climb to get with it.
I think with like with the when they sort of put like little kind of tithes on going up, like if you're going to climb Mount Fuji, is £13 really going to... Is 13 quid really going to give you pause for thought? You probably spent that on energy jelly.
No, it's not going to stop anyone. But I think it's good, though. It's good to raise money for the mountain, for its maintenance, to clear it. With all these people going up, there's more litter. I noticed on my second ascent in 2023, it was a bit more litter-filled than my previous trip on 2013. 10 years. Jeez, I didn't realise they were 10 years apart. It's poetry, it rhymes. It was magic. But they're also stopping bullet climbing, which is the coolest thing. It sounds a lot cooler than it is. Bullet climbing. You're not allowed to set off. Well, the plan is you won't be able to set off the climb after 4 p.m. basically. In between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. they're going to block people from climbing up, essentially.
I see. Right. Okay.
And bullet climbing is where you rocket up the mountain, get to the summit, and you come all the way back down without kind of sleeping on the mountain or taking a break. And while a lot of people can do it, and I know people that can do it who are extremely fit, some people think they can do it. They get up there, and then they need to be rescued because they've underestimated the climb and the slightly lower amounts of oxygen at the summit, and can be quite, It certainly affected me more the second time I went up as well. I noticed my asthma. I couldn't really breathe as well as I could 10 years previously as well. So, yeah, it's not a difficult climb, but it is quite unpleasant to do.
When I was in Las Vegas watching the WrestleMania, a lot of the pyro they'd closed the roof. And a lot of the pyro had sort of collected, all the smoke and stuff had collected in the top sort of echelons. And we had the cheapest seats going pretty much. We could see pretty well because that stadium's really good in Vegas. But it would sort of collect, and I was like, oh, bloody hell. I'm like, but I drank through it and I was fine. But did
the
not
cure
die.
to asthma does exist. You've got to have 5 beers and a Chick-fil-A fucking sandwich or whatever the heck they sell in Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to pretend like I know what it is. What do they sell in Chick-fil-A? It's like
I think it's just fried chicken. It's just a pretty standard fried chicken fare, to be honest. Nothing. I was yet to find the quintessential Chick-fil-A sort of meal, but I was certainly interested in the sauces, though.
It does sound rather good. But if you want to climb Fuji, you can do it. Just remember to prepare for it. Take it seriously. And I would say it is worth the climb, at least doing it one time. The view is astonishingly good. And I remember climbing up there 2 years ago with Natsuki. It was one of the highlights of anything I've ever done. Just getting to do it with Natsuki and the team, and just having that breathtaking moment when you get up there, the sun rises, dawn breaks, and you've got it just feels like you're in heaven almost, looking down from the clouds, and utterly surreal, a beautiful thing. But next time, if you could just get a helicopter up there, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Maybe we could start a helicopter tour. Ruin the atmosphere, ruin the dynamic. Just get in a helicopter to the summit, hop out, go, oh yeah, it's good, isn't it? And then get back in the helicopter. Job done.
Yeah.
Build some generational wealth. We'll be back in a moment, guys, with your stories, comments, and questions over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What have we got this week from our listeners, Mr. Dawson? Fill us in.
We've got a message from Sean from Texas. Hello, Sean from Texas. Hello, Chris and Pete. I was finally able to take a trip to Japan for the first time. A few weeks ago, me and my 3 friends took a trip to Tokyo and had the trip of a lifetime. While in the larger subway stations, such as Shibuya, Shinjuku, and Tokyo Station, it became flipping impossible to locate specific shops or restaurants that we were trying to find. Google Maps couldn't locate us, and the store maps posted in these stations were almost useless to us. Is there a better way to find what you were looking for? How do the Japanese do it? I thought this trip would scratch my itch to see Japan, but it only left me wanting to come back again soon. Thanks, Sean. That's it, though, isn't it? You have one bite of the cherry. You want more. And you're going to spend loads of money to get there. It's an astonishing... I mean... My God, Chris, trying to find anything in particular. If you know that there's a specific shop in a specific train station, or even a specific sort of department sort of building, it's just nigh on impossible. Just relax and just know that you might stumble upon what you're looking for, but you probably won't.
You never do. I mean, I was lost yesterday. I had to go and collect a camera from Yodobashi Camera in Shinjuku. And I got the train and I got the subway and I just got lost in a tunnel for like 25 minutes and I just couldn't get out. And I was like, in the end, the trick is, if you get lost in a tunnel in Shinjuku, Shibuya, whatever, a subway, Just go up the nearest stairs and get to the ground floor. Like get up to the road and then navigate, because it's a heck of a lot easier. But I was losing my patience, and I was so tired. This was the day after the cycle. I had to go and collect something, and I got on the train and I missed it. I was so like falling asleep on the train. I missed my stop. I went past it like by 4 stops, and I've never done that before. That's what happens when you get fatigued cycling for 2 weeks. But get up to the ground level and things get a heck of a lot easier. That's what I found anyway. Chris from New York says, hello, Chris and Pete. I've just come back from a trip to Japan this past March. I visited several places to see them for myself, but it was Miyajima after dark that really stood out for me. I stayed the night on the island, and I want to see the big torii gate of Itsukushima Shrine late in the evening. There was no one else out at the time, so I enjoyed a very quiet stroll along the beach and a wonderful nighttime view of the torii gate at high tide. My question for you is, what are the places in Japan are worth experiencing at night? Thank you for all the hard work you guys put in. Chris from New York. And I will say, in March this year, I too went to Miyajima, stayed the night, and I went up to the shrine after dark, and I did a little reel. I did a little Instagram reel where I'm like, I'm the closest man to Miyajima Shrine, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then my friend Dave's behind me, and he's closer. And I was like, I'm the second closest friend. But it was really cool. It's really trippy being that close to Itsukushima Shrine. 125 million people, the most iconic, perhaps the most famous torii gate in Japan, and I was the closest. I rather like that. And it is lovely. Miyajima, the island of Miyajima at night, is a very beautiful place with the sound of the sea sort of lapping the shoreline and the shrine. It's a really cool place.
Nice. That sounds nice.
In terms of nighttime places, I mean, I used to live in the countryside, as we all know, and just out in North Japan, it's a beautiful thing when you've got, the stars, you've got these huge towering mountains, the moon over it. I just fondly remember wandering around Yamagata at night and doing a lot of jogging. I was trying to get fit. It wasn't so fun. But then I'd stop jogging and I'd look up at the stars and I'd think, yes, the stars are nice, and I hate jogging. Where do you like at night that isn't a bar, Pete, or a rockaholic bar?
I think sort of walking through like a park, it's one of the few sort of parks, few sort of situations in the world where you can walk through a park and you just feel like you're not going to get attacked at any moment. So if you can sort of get into like a Ueno Park or something during the hours of darkness, it's a lovely kind of, especially on like a lovely sort of warm evening when the sort of sun's gone away and the pollen sort of on the ground sort of thing, and it's just
Beautiful.
A bit cooler, a bit more refreshing. Get yourself a strong zero and walk through there.
Wasted. Yeah, go to the park, innit? I will say I was in Kyoto also in March, just before Miyajima, show my parents around, and it was really not, even though Kyoto was rammed to Dickens in a way that's hard to put into words, it was really, we went to the Yasuka Yasuka Park, Yasuka Shrine, which is where we did our video, where we cycled across Kyoto without a map. We ended at Yasuka Shrine. Right. And you go up there, and there's lots of lanterns, and the temple's quite illuminated, and I'd say that was really beautiful in Kyoto, Yasuka Shrine. But Kyoto itself, on the periphery of Kyoto, in like Higashiyama, around the Yasuka area at night is jaw-dropping. You've got pagodas and temples and shrines sort of lit up with lanterns. Really beautiful, a really beautiful place. Very fond memories of that. Even with the crowds, even at night when it's busy, it's still an incredible place to be. And finally, Luca from Switzerland says, good morning, Chris and Pete. I finally laid down plans to visit Hokkaido in 2026 for 3 full weeks to celebrate my 45th birthday. My planned locations are Hakodate, Sapporo, Asahikawa, and Wakanai. You don't need to go to Wakanai, don't worry about it. I'm thinking about September, trying to line up staying in Sapporo with the food festival. But what other months do you recommend for a visit? I'd like to avoid excessive heat and or cold. Keep up the good work, Luca. I'd say, honestly, you don't need to go to Wakanai. As somebody that's been there twice, there's better places to go.
Not much there, is there?
I can't really think of one thing to do in Wakanai that really makes it worthwhile. There's
I don't think anyone's going to be, unless you're really, really familiar with Japan, I don't think anyone's that impressed. I went to Wakanai and you go,
It's yeah. I mean, I wouldn't bother. Go to Otaru or somewhere like that instead. Otaru's got a really nice brewery. It's by the by the sea, just outside of Sapporo. That's really cool. Or even Abashiri, which is a cool coastal port on the north shore of the Sea of Okhotsk, but they have like a really cool prison. What used to have Japan's most notorious prison, and that's really fascinating. Wakanai, it really doesn't have much. Somebody's been there twice. It's just I just can't really get excited about it, unfortunately. There's an island I do want to visit, though, off the coast of Wakanai called Rishiri, where Japan gets a lot of its seafood from. I can't think of the name of the seafood that comes from there, but it's a beautiful island, Rishiri, and that's quite nice in September, I imagine. But September's a really good month to go to Hokkaido. The perfect temperature. It's a nice, cool temperature, whether you're going in September or October. I'd give it a shot. Have a good time, Luca. Let us know how you get on, and a very happy 45th birthday to you next year. And a very happy birthday to Pete, who, of course, is now 44 as of several days ago.
Oh, dear. I had a nightmare. I don't like it.
Poor old
I don't like it.
How are you enjoying your 40s? Because you were like, I was like, when I turned 30, I remember I was like, I'm sad, I'm 30 now. And you were like, when I turned 30, it was a fantastic time. I love it, Dad.
Well, I didn't talk like an old man, an old prospector.
I love turning 30 years old.
I love turning 30. It's sounding fucking like an old steeplejack. No, 30s was great. 40s is getting there. I'm just sort of readjusting to my new life as a father, and it's all good stuff, man. It's I've said it before. Surely you must know now you're in the midpoint of your 30s that you have had the best time. Like your 30s has been your best decade. Surely, just getting better and better.
It's been pretty good. Yeah, it feels like compared to my 20s, where it was like I moved to Japan, just finding my feet. There was the real sort of chaos of not knowing what was going to happen next, and obviously in my 30s now, I've reached a level of success that I never thought would happen. I've been very lucky. And life has got a bit more predictable and less sort of exciting in some respects. But I need to push myself more. And like I said, I want to get fit now that I'm 35. I want to challenge myself more. And I just want to go and eat some fried chicken right now. I haven't eaten much today.
That's
but that'll be the last fried chicken I'm ever going to have, because I'm going to be fit now. I'm 35. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming in to Abroad in Japan podcast at gmail.com. But for now, guys, have yourself a fantastic week, and we'll see you right back here to do it all over again on the Abroad in Japan podcast. Bye for now. Take care. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Don't go up Mount Fuji, for crying out loud.
Don't go up Mount Fuji. Not for another couple of months, for God's sake.
Or if you do, just remember your phone. Remember your phone, for crying out loud.